In this video, we're going to be solving a system again using matrices. However, on this one, I do want to show you what it looks like in your calculator when you get one that has no solution, right? Because that's always a possibility. So let's take a look first. We're going to follow the normal steps as we usually do. We're going to go ahead and first, I'm going to go ahead and write all my coefficients for each one of these values inside of my problem. Only after I rewrite the problem. So let me rewrite it real quick. So notice up here, right, we do have an x, a y, and a z. So I'm going to go ahead and put in, we have 1x, and then that's plus 1y, and plus 1z. I'm just putting a 1 in its place, just like you see me do in the other video. And then I'm going to write my second one. We have an x, y, and a z again. So we have 1x, 1y, and 1z. Is equal to 3. And then in this one, notice that we are actually missing a y. We have the x and we have the z, so we don't have the y. So we're going to use a placeholder with a 0 in place of that y. So for the x's, we have 5x. Since it don't show any y's in this last equation, we're going to go ahead and put plus 0y. And then we have negative 2z. And negative 1 for our constant value. So now you can see I rewrote it. I'm going to take these values and just put them into my matrix real quick right here before I put it in the calculator. So I have, for my first row, right, we're looking for x values. We currently have 1, 1, and 5. And then for my y values, I'm going to go ahead and put the next one, which is positive 1, and 0. And then for my z values, we have 1, and 1, and negative 2. So notice we have our x values, we have our y values, and we have our z values. Now the last thing we got to do is put our constant values in, which is 9, 3, and negative 1. So I'm going to put that right here, 9, 3, so 9, 3, and negative 1. Alright, so now at this point I do feel like I'm ready to put this into the calculator. I'm going to move this over a little bit so we have room for the calculator. And go ahead and pull it up. I do want to get my matrix up, so to get to the matrix, right, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and hit second and x to the power of negative 1, which if I hit x to the power of negative 1, it says matrix. So that gets it pulled up. Now let's see, we do still have 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and we have 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to leave that as that 3, 4, but we do want to edit the information that's inside of it. So I don't want these values that are currently in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and change these numbers just to clear it out. Alright, I'm going to put 3 and 4. Notice that when you do that, it just zeroes them, right? So notice we have a lot of zeros here, just have a 1 in that first column. And I'm going to start filling them in. So on the first column, I have 1, 1, and 5. 1, 1, and 5. On the second column, I have 1, 1, and 0. So 1, 1, and 0. On the third, we have 1, 1, and negative 2. And then in the last, we have 9, 3, and negative 1. Alright, so I got all my values in. Everything looks great. I'm going to hit second and mode to quit. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit second matrix again. And this time we're going to go to math, and we're going to go down to that R ref. So right there, I'm going to hit enter. It brings it down. This is my matrix A. So I'm going to hit second, x to the negative 1 again, and go ahead and pull up my matrix, which is matrix A. Enter, close parenthesis, and hit enter. Alright, and so notice, right, normally we'd have in here, these would be our answers back here at the end, the 0, and the 1. So in this particular solution, while this looks like an answer, right, you have some values that are on the right hand side of the matrix. The fact is, this is actually what they call an inconsistent answer and would be no solution. The reason I know this is because of the values I see at the bottom row. You're going to run into 3 different situations. And if you go back to some of the videos that I've already made on this, what you're going to find is that a lot of times we're going to have one solution, and it's an independent situation. And notice they're going to give you these values over here on the right. And notice how this looks here, right? 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. And really focusing on the bottom row is what you need to focus on to determine how many solutions it has. If we look at this other one over here, notice this is a dependent situation, and notice it has infinite solutions. So we have all zeros and they're equal to 0. Now when we have no solution, we have what we see in our calculator right now, which we have all these zeros and they're equal to 1. So in this case, because of this bottom row, we know that there is no solution. The bottom row will indicate that there's no solution. And that's providing that you see any number other than 0. So in other words, if these were all 0 and there was a 0 here on the right, then we'd go back to infinite solutions. But because we have all zeros on the bottom row and we have a value other than 0 on the right, then it is no solution.